What up, though, everybody? It's your guy, BallerSteph, Steph Baller A. Welcome to my second episode of Breaking Down the NBA. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Derrick Rose in Cleveland. As you all know, over the years, Derrick Rose has struggled with injuries, specifically knee injuries. And though he is still a great player, he takes a lot of flack because of his knee injuries, which, you know, if we really think about it, how can we blame somebody for getting injured? Like, people talk about them and, you know, oh, you suck, oh, you this, you horrible, you this, you that. It's not somebody's fault if they get injured. However, you know, I can see why it will cause people to doubt the future concerning the player if they get injured. And this is exactly what has happened to Derrick Rose going from last season and into this season. Last season, Derrick Rose averaged 18 points a game. This is more than many of the starting point guards in the NBA. Not to point anybody out, but Mike Conley, for example. Mike Conley doesn't average 18 points a game, but he just got a contract worth over $150 million. However, Derrick Rose, even with all of his injuries, averaged 18 points per game through 64 games last season, and he is only making $2 million this season, the absolute minimum. So, even though Derrick Rose has shown that he's still a great player, it's because of his injuries that the owners around the NBA are putting little faith in him to be their guy, their starting point guard, the point guard and the leader of their team. However, I don't think the NBA has totally lost faith in Derrick Rose. I just believe that, you know, since these past few seasons, he haven't really played a full season. I believe these owners want to see that he's actually durable to play a full season, because if we go back and watch all his highlights with the Knicks last season, we can see that his quickness is still there. His explosiveness as far as exploding from the ground and maneuvering in the air, hang time to maneuver to get a difficult shot and finish, his ability to finish, it's still there. Only thing that we don't see from Derrick Rose that he had before the knee injuries is him jumping up and just straight up just dunking on people's heads. Which, you know, if we go to the source himself, Derrick Rose, he said that's not his game anymore. And if we take in consideration what he's going through, shit, I'd probably change my game too. So the thing about it is, though, he still can get up. Period. Like, he still can dunk. He still can go up and cock it back, two hands high. We seen that last year with the Knicks. But a lot of people wasn't even watching or catching it because the Knicks were so garbage. Like, they were so terrible. Like, people weren't even looking for Knicks highlights. And, like, honestly, I've never given up on Derrick Rose. Like, Derrick Rose has always been one of my favorite players. Even through his injuries, I've stayed behind him. I've backed him. I always know he's going to bounce back because of his heart, man. It's rare that people got that type of drive. So, with the ability that he has, but beyond jumping, he's never just like, that's his only talent, jumping. You know what I'm saying? He has amazing basketball ability and IQ, so I always knew he was gonna bounce back. But like, in order to find Derrick Rose highlights last year, I couldn't even, like, YouTube wasn't showing him no love. You know, the NBA's YouTube channel wasn't showing him no love. The NBA wasn't showing him no love. None of the sports networks were showing him love. I actually had to go on Instagram to find all his highlights. You know, different Derrick Rose fans pages and stuff like that, just to find his highlights. And all through the highlights, he was dunking. He had the same explosiveness, the same quickness, getting to the hole, finishing, scoring at will. But it just, like, things were so horrible for him in New York, he couldn't really shine. And, like, we all know the stuff that was going on in New York. Like, it was just horrible all around with Phil Jackson, the coaching situation. Like, the coaching and Phil Jackson, like, wasn't on the same page. The players didn't like the coach or Phil Jackson. So New York was just a mess, man, for real. Shit, players didn't like each other that much. You know, it was a mess. So I'm happy out that situation. He's with Cleveland now. And one thing that's great about that is, you know, he got LeBron James, and LeBron James is one of his number one backers right now. He's telling people, like, Derrick Rose is still great. Like, this is still a superstar level player. Y'all disrespecting him. So LeBron James got his back. And the thing about it is, with Cleveland, because they spaced the floor so well, Derrick Rose is going to be, his game is definitely going to be able to shine in Cleveland because he gets to the hole. That's what he do. And you know, like even Derrick Rose said it himself, like he's never seen the floor so open. So he's happy and excited about what he's going to be able to do with Cleveland as far as getting to the rim. All of his Cleveland teammates are saying, like even Channing Frye recently quoted him. He said, like, he's shocked. Like everybody on the team is shocked. They like every day in practice, he BBQ chicken. Like he just getting to the hole, getting everything at the hole in practice. His 3-point shot is there better than it's ever been before. Right? People doubt that Derrick Rose can shoot. The thing is, he can shoot. But he said in Cleveland, he was only allowed to get about 15 shots per game. So, and only can take about, he said about 4 or 5 threes per game. So he said, if he can only take about 4 or 5 threes per game, then in order to like having a good stats, like he would have to be extremely efficient with those 8 or 9 shots at the basket. So he said if he can only take that many threes per game, then why take them? Because otherwise he got to make all of those shots just to average a decent number. Because if he wasn't efficient with those 8 or 9 shots, like making basically all of them, then he only averaged 10 points per game. So he said that's why he didn't even shoot threes that much last season. So expect to see a lot more 3-point shooting for him this season with Cleveland. The floor is going to be open and spaced out so he can get to the hole and do what he got to do to finish. Honestly, I think this is like the revival of Derrick Rose. He's only 28. He got a lot of basketball, high-level basketball left in him. This is going to be his revival. I think after this season or next season, he may even be out of Cleveland with his own team again. And that's honestly what I'm hoping. I'm hoping to see him get his own team again, to be the guy again, to show that he's at the top echelon of the point guards in the NBA, because he still is, even after the injuries. I think we can expect some great things for Derrick Rose. He said this is the best team he ever been on, the best playing situation ever been on. We're going to see a lot of great things from Derrick Rose this season. That's my opinion. Thank you for watching. Thank you for checking in with me, guys. Thank you for watching this episode of Breaking Down the NBA. Again, my name is BallerSteph, Steph Baller A. Please like this video, subscribe. Thank you for joining me. Stay tuned for the next video. Peace.